how does it work without having the smell? Is it because you're taking it in either through the nose or through the air or something, so it doesn't matter if you smell the scent, it's just the interaction of the essential oil being diffused in the air, or however you're getting it in. And then the second part is, can you speak on how there can be a difference between people that can and can't smell certain things, whether it's a certain scent in of itself or just smell in general? Like, is that some kind of a issue or concern, or like, does that not matter?
When you're taking in a scent, right, you're taking in scent molecules. When you take that, there's an essence that goes in, and then you have this hair-like, the cilia that grabs onto that, and it travels up, and then it connects into these receptor sites like a lock and key. So we're getting into this receptor site that gets up to the olfactory bulb where we're like, oh, I recognize what that is. So even if you are not smelling that, because I work with a lot of people going through chemo radiation, and we know people going through, that devastation or having heavy metal toxicity, they're going to have a decreased sense of smell. People who have been around chemicals, the pest control people, the car mechanics, the hair salons, the nail salons, housekeepers, because they're around these chemicals, it singes that lining and destroys that. So they're going to have a weaker sense of smell. If you have chronic allergies, if you've had chronic infections and viruses, it decreases your sense of smell because there's damage to that area. So that is going to be, a concern at that point. But when you take that scent in, those scent molecules, they're locking in, and it's still activating that physiological, psychological, and biochemical interactions and shifts within the body. Now, a couple things with what you said with sensitivity of smell, because some people do have a heightened sensitivity. So women tend to have a heightened sensitivity over men, first of all. Second of all, it's going to be even more heightened around the menses. So right before their cycle and through the first couple days of their cycle, and maybe through their cycle, they're going to be very sensitive because there's some hormonal changes going on. There's a lot of physiological, obviously, differences between men and women. So hormonally, testosterone, we know, suppresses the immune system. It changes and shifts certain things. So men's sense of smell typically isn't as keen intuitively. It can be trained, but it's not as intuitively as with women. So women, that's why women tend to have more immune issues. Estrogen and estriol and estrone and progesterone, all this changes women. So there's good and bad, with everything. There's going to be those hormone changes. So, it would be an interesting experiment for you to, when it's even more heightened, to go, where are you at in your cycle? And then, just really kind of see where that's at. She just probably is more in tune. I do find when people are more intuitively connected to themselves and, to the environment and to the universe in general, they are going to have a heightened, because our sense of smell, and that is the power of olfaction. It's telling us what's going on. We can learn a lot from animals. Animals have a heightened, look at bloodhounds. It's enormous. They're using scent to say hello and, to mark their territory and to be familiar with their surroundings. It's not crazy that a dog travels 1,000 miles to get back home. They smell their way back home, so there is going to be some physiological difference, to answer your question that way. I'm really going back to that hormone, and there's going to be certain neurotransmitters, antidepressants, for example. It suppresses a lot of things in the body, and it suppresses scent. So, there's a lot of questions that you have to ask. So when I'm working with my clients, it's not an easy answer. We have to investigate. We have to identify what's going on, identify those culprits. And that's why we customize what we need, because there's certain essential oils that can help a little bit more for certain situations, depending on the person.